Hi, folks. My name is Girish, your host for Back to Basics Season 3. Today, we're going to talk to Brendan Leibowitz, and we're going to find out what is SEO stands for and what does it mean? Why is it so important for a consumer? From the business, marketing, and technology aspect, yes, it is important, and we'll get to that as well. But today, we want to know why SEO is important, and we'll explain that in a basic way today on Back to Basics. So let's get on to Brendan and get into the show, and let's talk to him and get to know him better. So let's get there. Hi, folks. My name is Girish Bali. As I've said on the intro, today we're going to speak with Brendan and we're going to talk about SEO. I've already explained that in intro that what is SEO stands for and what it does. But the thing is that in detail, what does it actually do? And I think that's what we're going to go and find out. So why don't we speak with Brendan and we'll get to know him better as to who he is, what he is, and why he is. Brendan, how are you? Thanks for coming to Back to Basics.
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you again for coming on Back to Basics. Let me ask you this before we get into the details of the topic today. What does back to basic mean to you, Brandon?
Just keep things simple and try not to overcomplicate things and take it down to where it's easy to digest and understand and doesn't get too technical.
Yeah. Thank you again, and thank you for being here and supporting this small podcast here. You know, Brendan, let me ask you this. There's there's a lot of people who know what SEO is, but then there's a lot of people who don't, right? And whoever's listening here, I've already done SEO topics on season 1, so you can listen to that also. So it's going to be a little spin-off of that. So now the question is, what are the things that I need to do as a business owner, or even personal, really? How to make the SEO stronger? I mean, what are the pinpoints that I need to do?
It kind of varies. It's not really one size fits all. There's just depends on what type of business you are. If you're e-commerce versus if you're a local business like a dentist or a lawyer, it's gonna be a little different, but there's some things that overlap, such as text or content is so very important. The more content you have on your website, the easier it is for the search engines to read and understand and know what keywords you're targeting. But when I say content, it has to be actual text. And this needs to be on every page on your website.
Mm,
So not just the homepage, but any page that you really want to rank on Google needs some text on it. The more
mm,
text you put on it, the better off you're going to be. So it has to be original. You can't just copy from one page to another. It becomes duplicate content, and Google does not like that. So you need to put original content on all your pages, and that will just help them better understand and read that. That's something that you don't have to be technical with, because SEO can get pretty technical going into the coding and making all these changes in the coding, because that's really what the search engines look at,
mm,
is the coding. That, and when they look at the coding, images are gone, videos are gone. It all gets stripped down to text. So the more text you have, the easier it is for them to read and understand and try to figure out what that page is about, because the search engines are just
mm,
a robot. They're not that smart. They really
mm,
need you to spoon feed them
mm,
as much information as possible. The more you
mm.
give them, the more they're going to return that with higher rankings.
Yeah, thank you again. And there's a lot of questions that I have, obviously, from a social media side of things and marketing side of things, and even for a podcaster like me, right? So let's start from the scratch here. So let's say if I have a business or a podcast or a technology company, there might be different answers to everything. So you have to stop me somewhere, right? Um, how do I know what is the right name for the business? Does it have to be trendy or does it have to be relatable to you?
Well, in the past, it used to be better to have keywords in the business URL. That doesn't really help out anymore. Might help out a little bit, but not as much as it used to do like 10 years ago, where it's like, if you're a restaurant in Los Angeles, buy restaurantlosAngeles.com. And that would help you really rank for that. But nowadays, it doesn't matter. And I think of like Costco and Walmart and all these weird names that don't really mean anything, or they might have some meaning behind them, but they're just short and easy to remember and easy to get those usernames on online, get your URL, get your username, so it's all consistent.
Hmm. Hmm. So just like when you mentioned like a few minutes ago that you should have a lot of content for your business or just anything, right? Uh, does that mean that, let's take an example of Amazon? Is it because they have too much of content, so much of inventory that people they just go there, so then the SEO actually comes up higher? Is that how it works?
A little bit. The content definitely helps out. So the more original content, the more pages you have, the more keywords you could target,
Hmm.
the more opportunities you have to rank for new variations. So each product is a page and they have an endless amount of products. So
Mhm.
that's why that helps out a lot, and how they link their pages together. But more importantly is those backlinks, getting other websites to talk about you. The more websites that talk about you, the more trust Google gives to you. And then they look at those keywords and pages and things like that on your website. But without backlinks, it's pretty much impossible to rank on Google. You need
Mm,
to get backlinks. Backlink is a clickable link from another website that points to yours. So let's say you're reading an article on the latimes.com, and there it says Brandon Leibowitz, and you click on that and it goes to my website. I'd be getting a backlink from the latimes.com. So
mm,
the
mm,
more websites that link to you, the more trust Google is going to give to you,
mm,
and the higher they're going to rank you in the search results.
mm. So that does that mean that I'm not saying ranking number one, but at least you'll be on the top on the searches. Is that how it is?
As long as you have more quality backlinks than your competitors. So that's the number one thing, is you're fighting against those 10 websites on that first page of Google and looking
Mm,
at how much SEO they've done and how
mm,
can you do a better job of it.
mm,
Because you're not trying to beat Google. That's why it's not really a one size fits all. It's really what are your competitors are doing, and your competitors are who's ranking on Google.
mm,
Like you're a restaurant in Los Angeles, and Yelp ranks for that keyword. Yelp is technically your competitor online. Offline is very different, but online, whoever ranks for your keywords, those are your competitors.
mm,
That's you got to analyze and try to figure out what strategy they're utilizing and try to incorporate that into your own website.
mm. Yeah, thank you again. As a business owner, if I came to you, okay, and I want to say that, how do I rank myself somewhere? It doesn't have to be to the top, but just somewhere visible, right? Obviously, you're going to tell me that the content has to be there, and your
Mhm.
searches has to be there, and the naming has to be there. But what is your other questions that you ask, so then they can make a decision as to which angle should they go? Because modifying an SEO, it does cost money. So what are your thoughts on that part?
Well, there's a lot of other things like the coding changes. There's over 200 ranking factors that go into Google's algorithm.
Mm,
But SEO is like a puzzle, and there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle, but some pieces are a lot bigger. Like content, very, very important. Well, the text content that you have on each page and the backlinks are two really important aspects of it. There's lots of other important things, but those two alone, making those changes will definitely have an impact on your rankings and get you moving up without having to be technical, no coding. And because a lot of SEO is also going into the coding
mm,
and making changes into like a title tag or meta description and all these kind of technical places.
mm,
But it's kind of tough to explain because everyone has a different platform, and it's not always going to be in the same place if you're on WordPress or Shopify or Wix or Squarespace. But
mm,
definitely optimizing an SEO page title tag is really important to put as many keywords as possible within 60 characters without repeating yourself, and trying to kind of do the keyword research first to figure out what keywords you want to put in there.
mm.
And that's where you can use tools like the Google Keyword Planner to figure out what keywords people actually search for, and then incorporate those into different places on your website to help Google just better understand and read and know what these pages are focused on.
Thank you again. And I think you just mentioned about uh, what is it again? Google Key.
Keyword Planner to do keyword research.
Okay, okay. So that actually tells you the keywords of what Google is looking for, or any search engine is looking for.
No, it shows you what people actually search, how many people search for that keyword. So you put a keyword in there, like restaurant in Los Angeles, and it'll show you how many people search for that. Then you
Hmm,
can see how many people search for restaurant in Los Angeles versus restaurants in Los Angeles, the plural, or restaurants without the word in. So restaurant Los Angeles,
mm,
seeing how many people search for that, because each
mm,
one's going to get a different amount of searches.
mm,
And that will show you how many people actually search for that keyword. So you can figure out maybe the singular gets 50 searches,
mm,
but the plural gets 1,000 searches. So we're like,
mm,
let's go with the plural, but you got to do the keyword research to figure that one out. You
mm,
don't want to just guess.
mm. Thank you again. Yeah, there's a lot of search engines out there. I mean, Google's one of them, and I'm assuming Pinterest is another, right? Uh, are there, and then I think Bing is another, but how does it interact with all these search engines as one big database, or does it like piggy bank into the all the other ones?
Well, they're all separate. They're all competitors. So none of them are going to help one another out or show anyone what their algorithms are. They're all kept top secret and they do not work together.
Mm. So, from your opinion, which one is better?
Google is
Okay.
gets the most traffic and gets the most people using it and has most traffic. So if you're trying to get traffic and trying to get more people to your website, Google's just going to bring in the majority of the traffic. The rest
Mm,
barely bring in any traffic.
mm,
But every website's different, so it's not a one size fits all. But looking over the years, for the past 15 years at websites, Google just brings in the majority of the traffic.
mm,
Bing maybe will bring 1%. Yahoo might bring 1%. Google will bring like 20 to 80% of the traffic.
mm,
Then the rest comes from like social media, email marketing, people just typing your website in directly, or tons of other different ways. But Google just really brings in the majority of the traffic.
mm, mm. Thank you again. You know, uh, let me ask you this: from a business point of view, and and the Fortune 500 companies is very important. I get that, right? But from a personal upfront, why would people care about SEO? Should they care? Because it is definitely SEO is a trending item because it keeps on changing every single time. Why would someone care?
Well, if you are a business owner and you're searching on Google, or if you're not ranked on Google and people are searching for your keywords, then your competitors are going to be tapping into that traffic and getting that traffic. So that's where the Google Keyword Planner and tools like that can show you how many people actually search for those keywords, so you can figure out, am I missing out on traffic? Or maybe no one's searching for my keywords on Google, or maybe there's a different one that I should use. But that's going to let you know what's going on, how many people are searching, and what you're missing out on potentially if you're a business owner. Because if you're not doing SEO, your competitors are going to be doing SEO, or some website's going to be ranking for your keywords and capturing that traffic.
Yeah, thank you again. But 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 what I'm saying is, um, as a person who just goes on Instagram or TikTok or something, why would they care about SEO? Or do they just care about trending and that's what you're talking about?
Well, SEO gets the results. So when you search on Google, there's ads at the top. Those are all paid ads, but right below the ads are the organic results. So if you see that Google's giving you bad results and you're like, Google, what are you doing? You're ranking websites that are bad. This is not helpful. Why are you doing this? You're supposed to rank websites that are quality. So if search engines aren't providing good quality results and something's off and they're not providing a good user experience, and they're going to lose that traffic. So
Hmm.
that's just for more personalization. Like if it's not working on Google, then someone's going to go on Bing or Yahoo or DuckDuckGo or another search engine.
Mhm. Uh, Thank you again, Brendan, for that. And you just brought up Google Ads, right? So, what are your thoughts on Google Ads and Facebook Ads and every other ads out there? Does that help on the searches, or that just puts a small banner right on top of your search?
No, Google Ads work, but it just depends on how you implement what type of ads. There's lots of different types of ads. So it just depends on what type of ads you're running. But all that matters is that you're making a positive return on your invest ad spend. So as long
Mm,
as you're making more than you're putting in,
mm,
that's really what matters. But there's lots of different types of ads, such as remarketing, which I recommend everyone should do remarketing. So remarketing is where you go to a website like Amazon, you look at a product and you don't buy it. Those ads follow you around. That works really, really well. So you can do that like I do it for myself. Anyone that goes to my website and doesn't fill out the contact form or offer a free website analysis, they don't fill those forms out, And then I'm going to follow them around with ads, target them saying, hey, check out different things, services, or free things I'm offering to try to get them back into my website because they've already been to my website. So
Mm.
they know who I am, but for some reason they didn't want to contact me. And if I could keep myself top of mind and offer more value to them, such as like a free ebook or a list of SEO tools that will be helpful, that are free tools that they could use, then that might get them to want to learn more about those tools and then hopefully want to learn more about my services and come back to my website. And that alone is the best type of ads because those are all warm leads. People have been to your website. It's not cold traffic where
Mm.
cold traffic is expensive and doesn't
Mm.
convert as well. Warm traffic is people have been to your website. They know who you are, but for some reason they got distracted. Maybe they're on their phone. Someone called them and they forgot about your website. But by you keeping yourself top of mind, that just helps reinforce you. And also, usually you need multiple touch points for someone to trust you as well. So just having someone go to your website, unfortunately, half the time people are going to leave your website immediately without doing anything. So you can keep yourself top of mind by running paid ads or capturing email addresses, doing social media, doing as many different types of marketing strategies as possible for digital because you don't want to just get traffic from one place. You want to get as much traffic as possible. You want to diversify. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket
Mm.
because you just focused on Facebook and all of a sudden now you're like, wait, Facebook isn't as popular as it used to be. Now you're like, maybe I should have focused more on Instagram, but all those you're just kind of renting space. You don't own any of that stuff. Your website is where you own and get full control and can do whatever changes you want. You get full customization. There's no ads for other people's products or services. It's just your website there where you get full control and no one's ever going to take you down. Just like social media, you get taken down pretty easily nowadays, and getting a site or page back is really tough. So
Mm.
making sure that you have that website gives you that full control.
Mm. Yeah, thank you again. But then, bringing someone into your website, that's that's a that's a hard thing to do, isn't it?
That is where you just gotta try to figure out, well, doing SEO, running paid ads, but you gotta figure out who your audience is, where are they, and how can I get in front of them at the right time, at the right moment, so
Mm.
that they want to learn more about my product or service. But it's all about just knowing your audience and just trying to figure out who they are, where they're active, and how to get in front of them.
Yeah, thank you again, Brendan, for that. Is there a certain tool that someone should use to say that how I don't know how screwed up is my website that I need to optimize a little and make sure that it's reachable on the searches? And I'm not saying crap. I mean, uh, just up not up to the par. So, what are your thoughts on that?
There's lots of third-party tools out there that you could use, free ones and paid ones that you just search on Google. And it's got to take everything with a grain of salt with some of these tools because they're trying to show you as many things wrong as possible to try to get you to buy their product or service. But there's a lot of tools out there that will do audits for you for free that you can just quickly look at and get ideas of what works, what doesn't work, and what needs improving.
Yeah, thank you again for explaining all the stuff about SEO and how ads work and how I guess cold and warm traffic works. So thank you again for that. Brendan, we have actually started a new segment for season 3 for Back to Basics, which is a rapid fire round. I have some words or sentences. Whatever I say, I think whatever pops in your head at that time, if you can just explain, it could be a word, it could be a sentence, or maybe your thought process. You ready for that?
Oh, sounds good.
Awesome, awesome. So the first word is going to be content.
Gotta put text for content, I would say.
Hmm. Caption.
Usually for images to help kind of describe what an image is, you have a little caption or a little bit of text. Kind of comes back to that content text. Got to have that text.
Uh, Thank you. Backlinks.
Clickable links from other websites that point to yours. So making sure, like, for example, if you're reading Forbes.com and you see somewhere in there, you could click on a link and it takes you to another website. That other website is getting a link from Forbes.
Hmm. Ranking.
Making sure you show up on Google. So ranking is just what position you're in. You might be ranked number 1, you're at the top, or number 20, you're ranked page 3, number at the bottom, or rank number 11, page 2, number 1.
The next one is going to be puzzle.
Like crossword puzzles, kind of think of for playing games with family.
Okay. Trending.
Something popular or going viral temporarily.
Marketing.
Ways to attract business to get your name out there. So just getting exposure,
Branding.
trying to get people to remember your brand name. So something catchy, short, easy to remember, and that you could get their URL and all the usernames on social media consistent.
Hmm. Uh, Ads.
Just everywhere ads are and run the world, unfortunately. So try not to look at them, but they're everywhere and they're taking over, and not the funnest, but they work. So just depends on how you advertise. Subtle
Mm,
is better, offer
mhm,
value.
mm. Social media.
Just ways for people to connect and also disagree and cause distraught.
So we know the difference between warm and cold traffic. So I'm just going to say traffic.
Just people coming to your website if you're talking about website traffic.
How about audience?
It's just who you're speaking to or who you're talking to or who's reading your content. That's your audience. And just making sure you understand who your audience is very important for business owners.
Hmm. The last two is Brandon.
A person, me, someone that lives in Los Angeles, enjoys marketing, but also getting away from the computer and going down to the beach and going to concerts and traveling and hanging out with friends and family.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you again. And the last one is going to be back to basics.
Just a great podcast to be on and happy to be on it. And hopefully it wasn't too complicated and didn't overcomplicate some of this SEO stuff because it gets a little technical, but try to bring it back to the basics and what the fundamentals are.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again, Brendan. Let me ask you this: is there a book that you read regarding, I don't know, marketing and SEOs and how people can start reading about it, or if there's a video that you resonate with helping people out? If Do you have any thoughts on that?
I would just go search on Google, on YouTube, and just look for stuff that's not more than a couple years old. You can
Hmm.
watch stuff that's older, but SEO changes so much so quickly. But for the most part, the fundamentals don't change. It's just little tweaks and changes that Google might add to it. But you definitely want to try to look for websites, forums, blogs, join Facebook groups. I mean, I put my own videos out so they could search my name on YouTube,
Hmm.
find my videos and watch those and read my blogs, because the more you read and learn and watch and listen to podcasts, the better off you are as long as you take action. That's
Hmm.
the number one thing. Gotta take action. Can't just watch and learn. You gotta take action on what you listen to or learn and implement it. See if it works, and great if it works. Sometimes it's not going to work because sometimes strategies change or get outdated, or you might not be doing it the right way. So you got to get creative and put a new spin to it.
Hmm. Brendan, thank you again. Let me ask you this, and this is going to be one of the last questions here. You said too much of content is a good thing because it'll keep you searchable, right? But is it a good thing that you need to be everywhere in all social medias uh, at the same time, or do you pull up a report saying that which one is better depending on my age group, demographic, or who your audience is? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, kind of the latter. Depends on who your audience is, how to get in front of them at the right time. You don't need to be on everything. You just need to be where your audience is at. And like, I'm an SEO company. Probably not going to get many people going on Facebook or Instagram looking for me. But if you're selling like a sports team, like the Los Angeles Lakers, probably a lot of people are going to be going on social media, looking up you on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, probably TikTok, all that stuff. So it just depends on your audience and who they are and where they're active on. You don't want to be everywhere.
Hmm.
You should have a presence everywhere, but you don't need to be active everywhere. You don't need to be posting on every platform all the time. You just need to be posting where your audience is at. And your other ones just post once a month or a couple times a month just to keep it active. But don't worry about posting consistently unless that's where your audience is at.
Yeah, Brendan, thank you again for being on Back to Basics. But before you leave, do you have any last words for all my Back to Basics listeners and viewers? And how is your journey on Back to Basics too? On top of that,
Well, the journey was good, enjoyed it, and just got to be patient with all digital marketing. It's not immediate. Sometimes you go viral, but most of the time it takes time to get that traction. So as long as they keep working and building it up and building it up, they'll start seeing those results. But just don't get discouraged if you don't see the results right away. Just keep pushing through, and you'll see over time your traffic starts to increase slowly over time. But that's what we're looking for, is getting those increases, getting moving in the right direction.
yeah, Brendan, thank you again for being on Back to Basics, and we'll be in touch. And thank you for knowing. And whenever there's anything new about SEO, please do come back. I would like to understand the SEO 2.0 version, if there is any, or even Brendan 2.0. So thank you again for being here.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I have a lot of that content on my website and a lot of my videos up there. So if they wanted to learn more, they could always go to SEOoptimizers.com. Actually create a special gift for everyone if they go to SEOoptimizers.com/gift. They can find that there, along with a lot of videos that show step by step how to do what we've been talking about. So if they want to get more technical and take it a little bit more above the basics, they can watch all those videos for free anytime there.
Awesome. Brendan, thank you again. And whoever's listening here, we'll have that information on the details of the episode, so you can actually grab that from the details from this episode here. So thank you, Brendan, for being here on Back to Basics.
Thank you for having me on today.
Thank you. So guys, we spoke with Brendan today, and we talked about the SEO and how searchable items are going to be searchable, right? And how SEO kind of works, because there's no really algorithm in there. You just have to play around with it, and just to get to the top, wherever the top is, if there is a top. So guys, as usual, as always, there is a quote of the day from Back to Basics, and hopefully my guest will like the quote. Good SEO works only gets better over time. It's only search engine tricks that need to keep changing when the ranking algorithm changes. Now, as usual, as always, what do we always say at the end of the episode? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and I will see you next time on Back to Basics. Brendan, how was that for you?
It was good. It was fun. I liked it. So
Awesome.
glad I was able to do it. And yeah, definitely send me the live links once it goes out there, and I will spread the word with my audience as much as I can.
With your skills of the SEO skills.
Yep, gotta get it out there to the world.
Hi guys, thank you again for tuning in to Back to Basics and listening to the excellent episode that we had today with our guest. With your love and support, we do need you to at least rate our show, review our show, because it does make us stronger day by day, week by week, as I usually say on my episodes. And there are 3 things in this episode that it makes a hit for me, which is the content, the guest, and definitely the host. So guys, take care, God bless, and remember, everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and see you next time on Back to Basics.